And now, welcome to the Reece Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reece. Welcome to episode 2 of my brand new podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, a 49ers fan extraordinaire, just like myself, as you can see, and a lover of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is what our topic is today, your Toronto Maple Leafs. Jose, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, we are going to talk about your Toronto Maple Leafs, a topic that I know everyone on my page is going to love, because that's the most feedback I get is when we talk about the Leafs.
Of course, they're the best team in the NHL.
That's it. It doesn't matter. They haven't won a playoff series in 15 years or a cup in 53 years, but you will always get them to respond to good, bad, or indifferent. That's the way Leaf fans are. So we're going to bring it up right now. So the Leafs have been up and down in the last little while. They started off on fire. They were the number one team in the league for a long period of time. And then they went into a little bit of a slump when Frederik Andersen's play started to dive. Now, the rumor is that he's been dealing with something all year. But this has been a 2-year struggle for him. He has not played as well as he did the first couple of years he was a Leaf. So he has a .291 goals against average, and he has an .897 save percentage, which is near the bottom of the league for this year. And Jack Campbell has come in, and in his relief has been 6-0 for the Leafs with a 148 goals against average and a .945 save percentage. Now, both goalies are hurt right now, and both have injury problems, which has left the Leafs with Michael Hutchinson, which even the most staunch Leaf fan knows they're going nowhere if Michael Hutchinson's in the net.
Hey, last year he did play for Colorado in the playoffs, and he won them a couple of games. So
he did, and then they lost Game 7 to Dallas, and I mean, who knows what would have happened? But bad luck.
No, you don't want to put your hopes on Hutchinson in that for the playoffs. That's definitely not.
So my question to you, Jose, is this: do you believe that the Leafs should do something about their goaltending situation? Should Campbell be the future starter? Should they re-sign Andersen? Should they trade Andersen? What do you think they should do?
Personally, I think they should trade Andersen because he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. They're already against the cap. They have hardly no money to waste. If they're wanting to sign Hyman, so they're going to have to find money some way, some cap space. So personally, I would trade Nylander because he's on a $7 million contract, and I think that's the best way to get rid of that money, and you can use it for other players. But for me, the best thing for them to do is trade him at the trade deadline. Hopefully, like they were interested in the goalies from Columbus, Corpusalo and the other guy, Merzelinks or whatever his name is.
Merlikin, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they should just trade him if they can get anything back decent for him, like a half decent goalie. Like I think you should trade him, but I don't know. Like the way the team's built this year, I think you should keep him along and wait until for the playoffs to see what happens. You gotta go with Frederik Andersen. He's been here all these years. He's been put up like he's been one of the best goalies in the NHL in the past years. He was up for the Vezina. He finished 4th place in voting in 2017. So I think you should keep him, see what happens. I say you start him game 1-2. If you're down 0-2, then you start Campbell and see what happens. Because last year, like we talked about, Hudobin, he wasn't even the starter, and he took Dallas all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, right?
Yeah.
So I think personally, we should ride it with Frederik Andersen, see what it takes and how long, whatever the Leafs are going to go. Hopefully they get past the first round, because I'm sick and tired of watching other teams play in the second round because it's no good.
Yeah.
And then I gotta hear you always bashing my Leafs, so it hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think we should go with Frederik, man. I think we should give him another chance, see where he goes, and then at the end of the year, hey, if you can get rid of the Nylander contract, you can keep Anderson for $5 million, $6 million, and you can get another. Hopefully you can sign Hyman to a $5 million, $6 million. But he's gonna get he's gonna get paid this year because he's been having a hell of a season for the Leafs. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's a tough decision. Dubas, hopefully he knows what he's doing, and he can help out he can make some good deals along at the end of the season, right?
Yeah. I don't think the Leafs have a choice. I think they're going to have to keep Anderson because the alternative is to have Johnson and Campbell and Hutchison as your combo, and that's not going to work either because
of course
Campbell's just not healthy enough to trust. And I don't think you're going to get much for Anderson considering he's been hurt and he's had a really rough year. So you're not going to get much for him anyway. I think the Leafs have no choice but to move on from him in the offseason. He's 32 years old. He's had a really rough time in the playoffs. He really hasn't won that big game for the Leafs. He's 0-8 in his career in Game 7s. And if he's not successful this year, then you really have no choice but to move on because I don't think Dubas is going to move Nylander. He's said it millions of times. He's not going to move Nylander. And so that means you got to give Anderson's money to Hyman, who is one of the most important Leafs
absolutely
on the team. I mean, and he's gonna demand at least $4.5 million a season on a long-term deal, and you don't want to lose him. And so I think this is it for Anderson. It's either he gets it done now or he's a goner. The Leafs' problems are not just goaltending. They're up and down defensively. Their offense has really struggled recently. Even Austin Matthews, who, yes, I know he's hurt. He's definitely not 100%. There's something wrong with his wrist, but even he's had trouble scoring. They've hit a lot of posts, and they've been up and down offensively, and their power plays really struggled recently, which was, boosting their scoring earlier in the year. But I just think with Anderson, I just think they had a poll the other day where they asked Leaf fans about this, and 73% want him gone. So I just think Leaf fans have turned on him at this point.
But that Leafs fans turn on everybody.
Yeah, I know.
That's the way it is.
Larry Murphy. It's not just me. Everyone calls me. Yeah. It's not just me.
The problem is we want to win, but it takes time, man. You see, look at Washington, for example, Ovechkin. They had one of the best teams with Hopies in net and all these players. And it took them along 9 years to win a championship, 10 years to win a championship.
Yeah.
It takes time, and these guys are young. These guys, and especially this year, you got Thorntons, and you got guys that are veterans that know how to win in the playoffs. Back these past years, you didn't have that. In the Game 7, you didn't have a Thornton to give you experience to take these guys. And honest truth, last year, Frederick Anderson played a hell of a series against Columbus. He had two
goals. Jose, really.
In Game 5. Yes, in Game 5.
5-hole goal every single year. That
yes,
5-hole goal.
Absolutely. But where was Matthews? Where was Tavares? Where was Marner? Where are all these guys that are supposed to be making $11 million?
Tavares missed an empty net in Game 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are these guys that are making $11 million, $12 million? Where are the goals? Especially this year, Tavares has been disappointing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And if I was the coach, I would put Nylander on the third line because Nylander can't play with Tavares because they're separately. And I'm surprised Galchenyuk has been playing very well in the second line with them.
Yeah, he's really helped.
He's been surprising me lately. But the problem is Nylander. I don't think Nylander's a second line guy. He reminds me of a Kessel when he went to Pittsburgh. Yeah. He put him on the third line. They had an amazing third line. He almost won Conn Smythe that year.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think Nylander's. You put him on the third line, and you put him with a Spezza or somebody like that, and then you see or Kerfoot, and then you see what happens. Because I think Nylander Tavares needs to play with Marner. Because you could see last year when they were playing together, they would do. But then again, after who are you going to play with Matthews? Marner's the one that stirs the whole pot. Yeah. Marner's the one that makes Matthews good.
Magic man.
Yeah, he's the one that makes Tavares is good. I'm sorry, Matthews is a great player, but I think Marner's the one that stirs the whole pot in that team. As long as Marner's is playing well, then the line's playing well. If he doesn't do anything, then I'm sorry. Austin Matthews has been scoring a lot of goals this year, but I
Yeah, I think Austin Matthews has really improved his game on both ends. I have nothing but praise for Mr. Matthews. But to me, Mitchell Marner is the magic man of the Leafs.
Absolutely,
He's
I
the
agree
guy
with you.
who just gets them going. Even when Matthews was out, Marner was still doing his thing. They have struggled to score a little bit more recently, and for whatever reason, they have trouble with the Senators. I don't know what it is with the Senators, but
I don't know, man. I think it's just because of old players and the coaches that are there. I guess they know the system a little bit and they know our players because everybody went there, freaking Zaitsevs and Connor Browns and the coaching staff and all that stuff. I don't know, man. I think it's
like a Stanley Cup for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like when you end up playing Buffalo or something, like Buffalo Sabres back in the day, it was like a couple years ago. It was like a hell when we used to play them there. Now they suck, but that's a different story.
Yeah. So regarding John Tavares, he struggled for about a year and a half now, and I'm just surprised because I'm not really surprised he's struggling. I was always against giving him that contract. I think the Leafs should have kept Nazem Kadri. Even though he was a disaster in the playoffs, at $4.5 million, you're getting the same production from him that Tavares has given you for 11. You could have had more balance on the team, and you would have had better defense at this point, and the Leafs would probably be more of a contender at this point. So that Tavares contract, I think, is going to haunt the Leafs for a very long time. He's 31 years old, and it already looks like he's declining. So I don't know. They're going to need more out of John Tavares for sure if they're going to have success in the playoffs.
See, they need to pick up another forward in the trade deadline to play with Tavares.
I just don't know who they're going to trade. Like they just don't.
Well, you got to trade if you're going to trade up anybody. You're going to have to trade up like a Kerfoot or somebody like that. Like that can free up. You're gonna give him a Kerfoot and a first round pick or something like that to retain, like maybe get a Raquel or even if Buffalo trades us Taylor Hall and maybe you can keep half of their salary or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
that's a tough one.
I don't know, man. It's tough because we're right against the cap.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's different ways of them doing trades without or going over the cap, but you're going to have to lose one of those guys, for sure, Kerfoot. Yeah. But like I said, to me, I would have traded Nylander, man. Get that $7 million out of here. I'm sorry, he's okay. He's a streaky player.
That's what
that's what he is. He doesn't battle on the boards. He's just a guy that roams around in the slot. Yeah, he's a good player. He scores 20 goals, 30 goals a year, whatever. But trust me, if it wasn't like with the Matthews or with the Tavares playing along with him, I want to see how many goals this guy's going to score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Tavares, you can't. He's having a point-wise, he's having a bad year.
Yeah.
But you can't deny that he's been playing a good defensive game for the Leafs.
That's not what they paid him $11 million for.
Yes, I understand that, but at the end, when it comes to the playoffs, it matters what defense wins championships. It's like any sport. Defense wins championships. And they have to stop this run and gun. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna make them win any series in these past years in the playoffs. Where did they go?
They wanted Keefe. They didn't want Babcock's system, and they got him. So now
this. Yeah, but they're gonna. But like you said,
they have the right division now, Jose.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Win. This is the division.
This is the year. But
because that division, if they don't win a playoff series in that division, there's something wrong.
But everybody talks about it's an easy division. It's not that easy.
No, I just mean the style.
If you run to a hot Carey Price in the playoffs, Hellebuck, and then even if Connor McDavid, exactly, or even if Connor McDavid, if he goes off with Draisaitl like they normally do once, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, man.
I don't know what it is. They own the Oilers. McDavid, they do well against McDavid.
You know why? Because they do that run and gun game too. They're not a defensive structure team like say a Winnipeg, where they don't have that system like a tough team like Montreal. If it comes to a 7-game series against say Montreal, it's gonna be tough, man.
Yeah.
Because those guys are big boys. They can bang. They can score. They've been struggling too. Everybody's been struggling in the North, man. There's teams that have gone through hot streaks and cold streaks, but I think the Leafs, like you said, the Leafs should. Well, technically, they should. They have a better team than anybody else in the North. and any Canadian team. They should make it to out of their conference and make it to the conference finals. But then again, I don't know, man. You never know. The hockey is a weird sport, man. Hockey is a weird sport. Sometimes you run into one of those hot goalies like last year, Who would have thought Solo would freaking shut him out twice?
Yeah, who would have
and
thought?
Have an 85 save game against Tampa Bay. Yeah. Like, come on. And sometimes it's just the streaks. Like when the hot team goes into, it was like Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. They went into the playoffs. They smoked everybody, and they won the championship.
Yes, it's just we all know why that happened. We all know why that happened.
Nah, it's not because just of the GOAT. It's not because just of the GOAT. He's the man. He's a great player.
I don't want to get into this, but like Tom Brady is like their defense is awesome. I'm not even.
Especially in the finals, especially in the Super Bowl finals.
There is the reason they won.
Yeah, of course, man.
No question.
Tom Brady is he's the greatest quarterback of our time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But back in the day, there was also good quarterbacks like Joe Montana from my Niners, and he's won a lot of championships too. It's a different generation, so we'll give it to them. Yeah. That's another different topic for another time.
Yes, and we will be getting into more things with Jose. We will be talking about a lot of things. Believe me, this is just the Leafs today. We're going to end this show off. I'd like to really thank Jose for coming on. We are going to have him on again, and we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We got Euros coming up. We got the NFL draft coming up where our 49ers, right there, our 49ers moved up to number 3 to, thank God, get rid of Jimmy F. or Jimmy Garbagelo, as I like to call him, and get a real quarterback on this team so we might be able to win something. Please, Kyle Shanahan, get a quarterback, please.
That's why they traded. They got to get a quarterback. Hopefully, from what I hear, they're talking about Mac Jones, but I don't know, man.
Well, I hope it's Justin Fields, but
Me too. Or Zach Wilson.
We will have Jose back on when the draft comes on.
That's right.
We'll have him back on. We're going to have a Euros preview. We got a whole bunch of Portuguese people.
Portugal.
And I actually love this team. They're just in the group of death. I love this Portugal team. I think they have a lot of talent. Outside of Ronaldo, they have a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah, of course they do.
The only question is in goal and in defense, but we'll get into that at another time.
Yep.
Right now, I'd like to end the show by asking this question to all the Leaf fans out there. Number 1, should the Leafs move on from Freddie Anderson and either go with Jack Campbell, which they probably will have to because of cap reasons, or somehow try to keep Freddie Anderson? The second question is a juicy one. For all you Leaf fans, who would you rather have? 1993 Doug Gilmour or Austin Matthews today? I will leave you with that. Thank you all for watching our show. You can find me at the Reece Report. I am Andrew Reece. You can also find me on Twitter at Mouth of the North. And I hope to get all your feedback. Please share this video. Please comment. Please give me all your feedback on what you guys think. All you Leaf fans that are on my page killing me, give me all that action here. This is where I want it. On my YouTube channel and on Facebook. Guys, comment. Let us know what you think. And then we'll throw it right back at you. For Andrew Reece and for Jose Gomes, I thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for coming on, Jose.
Thank you for having me anytime. I love talking sports with you, man.
And that's what we're going to do here, guys. This is the end of show 2. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.